Penguin Random House Audio presents Jump and Find Joy, Embracing Change in Every Season of Life. This is the author, Hoda Kotb. This book is dedicated to you, my darling. Curious, hopeful, determined you. Introduction. Right on time. Ready, set, jump! I can still picture my younger self holding hands with my sister Hala, counting down, and then jumping feet first into the town pool, screaming our heads off. We did it! Well, now, I watch my two daughters do the same thing at the beach, launching themselves off the pier into the sparkling water below. Boy, taking a big leap when you're a kid is easy, isn't it? Oh, and it's so much fun. But later, as we get older and tethered to the world we've built, jumping can be a lot harder and scary. So we stay put. No butterflies, no wind in our hair, no big splash. Bummer. Chances are there have been times in your life when you've wondered if things could be different, better. You gaze into that imaginary water and think, should I just go for it? Will I drown? Am I crazy? Those big and even small jumps can feel risky. After all, if making any sort of leap was simple, most of us would have already done it by now. Who doesn't want to exist on a richer, deeper, more joyful level? But redrawing the blueprints of our life tends to be a someday project, rolled up and set aside as we focus instead on making it through the week. If only there were a pause button so we could do some deep thinking, or even better, an extended time out for transformation. But the truth is, we stay relentlessly busy juggling family, work, friendships, and on and on. Most of us only daydream about a bolder, brighter existence. It's easy to forget or deny that we are the architects of our destiny. As leadership coach Shailaja Sharma writes, no matter the difficulties you may be facing, remember you are still a conscious creator of your life. I've always been interested in and inspired by conscious creators, people who've managed to pivot in ways that result in a meaningful rebirth of the heart and soul. How did they do that? What powered that courage? Fortunately, over the course of my decades-long career as a journalist, I've spoken with some of these incredible people, artists, entertainers, innovators, spiritual leaders, and deep thinkers, those who have faced moments of intense doubt and responded with great courage. What I've learned from each of them is this: change is not only exciting, it is essential, and the right changes happen right on time. I had just turned 60 when change tracked me down and stamped the big red right time on my heart. Bam! The message was loud and clear, and you know what? I was ready for it. It was the right time. Truth was, I'd been allowing myself for a few years to wonder what my world would feel like if, after 26 years, I parted ways with the peacock. If, for the first time, I didn't renegotiate my contract. Would I desperately miss NBC and my beloved coworkers? If I left journalism, how would I continue to connect with people and stay current? Anyone in my position who's enjoyed a meaningful professional life wrestles with the idea of moving on from the routine and the rewards that years of hard work have brought them. And I did struggle for a while pondering my exit, but always postponing it. After all, my various positions at NBC were so different. Dateline, co-hosting Today with Kathy Lee, then Savannah, then Jenna. My work life never felt stale. There was no yawn. Time just kept flying by, and I felt fortunate to have the very best jobs in television. But after I adopted my kids, my perspective on work and everything changed. How could it not? Like anyone who's experienced parenthood for the first time, I fell head over heels in love with my children. My heart totally grinched out. It grew 3 sizes after I met those babies. Instantly, my priorities forked in a profound way. Work was still important, but now I had two little cuties filling up my mommy bucket I'd dreamed of for so long. Family had always been important to me, but now I was raising my own. And I wanted to do it well, and on my terms. It was in 2024 that my decision to move on from NBC became crystal clear. The decade of my 60s had arrived, and I'd been thinking and journaling about what that would look like for me. A clean slate waiting for plans. Would I feel more financially secure if I signed another contract extension? Yes. Did I love my coworkers, our viewers, and all the extraordinary assignments I was given? Yes. But what so powerfully countered every yes were the amazing sights and sounds unfolding before me in my fresh start outside of the Big Apple. Suddenly, I knew there was more, something different, special, new. In August of 2024, after my girls and I moved out of bustling Manhattan to the leafy suburbs, I watched them climb trees and play nonstop in the backyard swing set. Birds were singing, the air smelled like cut grass and whatever my neighbors were barbecuing. Freshly baked pies appeared on my doorstep. Heavenly. Those small town vibes were activating my imagination about what my next step could look like. I pictured myself walking the kids to school each morning and volunteering at their recitals and sporting events. Instead of needing octopus arms to manage a million things, I could just be mom, present and focused with my two arms wrapped around my daughters. When you wait so long to be a parent like I did, it's hard to justify missing even the most basic stuff. Every little moment feels important. When that right time rubber stamp moment happened, Haley was 7 and Hope was 5. Work in 2024 had been particularly busy, including a trip to Bermuda with Jenna, plus a glorious 2-week stint in Paris covering the Olympics. Just one day after I returned home from the games, I was grateful to wake up to a meaningful milestone, my 60th birthday. That weekend, the girls' dad, Joel, joined my family and a few close friends to grill out and devour cake. It was the best. On that Monday, NBC hosted a supersized celebration and spoiled me rotten. The birthday bash they threw for me on the plaza was absolutely mind-blowing. The amount of planning that went into that party was extraordinary, and as usual, it was perfectly executed by my work family. Even the weather was spot on. Surprise after surprise kept unfolding before me, and a heady mix of emotions joined in the fun. Joy, gratitude, excitement, awe. I couldn't believe that folks had driven or flown to New York to share in the festivities, many of whom I had never met before. Even my college mascot showed up, for goodness sake. Every minute was surreal. That day, I looked out at a sea of hand-drawn signs and the shining faces of people waving them. My favorite bands rocked the crowd, and dear friends popped up out of nowhere. Throughout, a string of videos playing on the Wayback Machine captured the countless people and places that I had grown to love during so many years working at NBC. And my daughters were there for it all. While I was bawling absolute tears of joy, my heart was bursting too. In an out-of-body sort of way, I experienced a very deep rush of elation and realization. This magical day was without a doubt the top of the professional wave for me, and I was riding the crest right there on the plaza. It was the bomb. I knew right then and there, it can't get any better for me than it is at this very moment, and it felt awesome. I knew that this was indeed the right time to move on. The following month, I shared my decision with my bosses and then with our viewers. The outpouring of love and support was truly humbling. People wished me the best and seemed to understand why I was leaving. I had kids who needed me more than ever. My mom was getting older. And frankly, it would be nice not to see the number 3 when I set my alarm each night. In my new life, I would have total control over...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?